With the last movie of the Fate Stay Night Heavensfield trilogy finally out, I thought now would be a good time to share my thoughts on one particular scene from the first movie. I plan to go back and do full reviews of the trilogy once Part 3 is released on Blu-ray, but for now, there's something else we must discuss. The lost magic of the Mapo Tofu scene. For the uninitiated, the Mapo Tofu scene is a very famous meme in the Fate community. It has been referenced numerous times throughout various pieces of Fate media, from Unlimited Codes to Grand Order and even Collide Line. But in the movie version, it's not really that special of a scene. Sure, we get the implication that it's extremely spicy, as Kirei literally starts steaming after eating it, but not really much of anything else. Shiro meets Kirei at the restaurant, he uncomfortably watches Kirei eat some of the tofu, they talk about the current Holy Grail War, and Shiro leaves. Nothing special. So, due to a change in medium, when they adapted the visual novel into a movie, the original purpose of the setting and the details seem to be lost in translation. As a visual novel, we get to hear Shiro's inner monologue for the majority of the game. While on his way to the restaurant for his meeting with Kirei, Shiro tells the reader that the food here is hellishly spicy, even going so far as to say that while the chef of this restaurant was traveling abroad, he may have studied cooking with devils. He specifically mentions that 2 dishes are so spicy that it could nearly kill a man, or at the very least cause great stomach pain. The first is the twice-cooked pork, and the second is the meme-worthy Mapo Tofu. And what does Shiro find when he enters this establishment? Kirei is chowing down on the Mapo Tofu. But Kirei is not just casually having a meal by himself. He is gorging himself on the hellishly spicy food. Shiro was already wary of Kirei's mysterious and dangerous demeanor, calling his gaze oppressing. But this only helped to solidify Shiro's reservations about the priest. This so-called man of God was giving such a gluttonous display, scarfing down food that had possibly been prepared by someone who had learned from devils, and even though it looked like he was in pain, he can't get enough. He doesn't even stop for a drink despite the sweat dripping down his face. And after he finishes the first plate, the waitress brings in 2 more, which Kirei had ordered ahead of time. So why does this matter? The Mapo Tofu itself wasn't actually evil. Enjoying spicy food isn't sinful. Well, while the game doesn't spell it out for you, Shiro's thoughts and observations gives us a little bit of a deeper insight into his views on Kirei. He can tell that Kirei is a dangerous man, and something deep inside him must be truly broken and twisted. The overseer of this Holy Grail War, a priest from the church, a man who you're supposed to be able to trust, is partaking in this borderline masochistic meal, and seems to be enjoying it. This is one of the examples of great and subtle storytelling from the visual novel. For those of you who know the rest of the story for Heavensfield, there's one last conflict between Shiro and Kirei, and this, to me, sets up part of the story that pays off at the end, which is good, because for the most part, Kirei's role as a villain was very much downsized in Heavensfield when compared to the first 2 routes. We got to see Shiro and Kirei have a confrontation in Fate Stay Night, but not in Unlimited Blade Works. And now, here in Heavensfield, we see them have a proper battle as opposed to the one-and-done strike with the Azoth dagger. But in the movie version, we don't get this feeling. The lack of setup, being the inner monologue about the restaurant, means that Kirei eating tofu no longer serves as a payoff to put Shiro on edge, but rather just to make things awkward before they discuss business. It's still good for a laugh, and is some nice ASMR, but I feel that the subtle development between Shiro and Kirei was lost when they adapted it. But this is a problem that arises with almost any adaptation that is made. When transferring a story from one medium to another, not everything is brought over flawlessly. In the end, I don't think the lack of this diminished the hype and epicness of the final showdown between our hero and recurring villain, but in the visual novel, it helped to add just a little bit more nuance. But what do you think? What was your favorite part of the Heavensfield movie trilogy? What parts of the Fate Stay Night visual novel do you think could have been adapted better in the anime versions? Leave your thoughts in the comments below.